Hello friends, today's story is a bold one, so bold that to some people, it looks like throwing money straight at God. More than hundreds of billions of dollars invested, hundreds of millions of people mobilized, and 70 full years spent, all for one goal: to plant a single tree in a barren, dry land so harsh that even the gods seem to have abandoned it. Does it sound like Sisyphus pushing his rock uphill? Absurd, futile, even foolish, yet this is exactly what became the largest, most tragic, and most stirring mega project in Chinese history. China's battle against desertification. While Dubai was busy building steel and concrete fantasies in the desert, and Singapore focused on vertical greenery in its precious urban space, China chose the hardest possible road, launching a full-scale counterattack against one of the world's most severe natural disasters, desertification. They set out to reclaim lost land inch by inch from the hands of death itself. How hardcore were the technological breakthroughs behind this effort? Why are the very countries that once mocked China now lining up to learn from it? Today, let us uncover this world-shaking green epic. There was a time when China was one of the countries most severely affected by desertification. Desertified land once accounted for 1/4 of the nation's total territory. This was not a cold statistic, it was a nightmare for millions of people. In Mu's the yellow sands once moved like a greedy bee, swallowing farmland and burying villages at a speed of several kilometers per year. Elderly residents recall that during severe sandstorms, even at noon you had to light a lamp, open your mouth, and it filled with sand. Crops that took months of hard work could be ripped out overnight. After on-site inspections, Western experts delivered a hopeless verdict. This land has lost the basic conditions for human survival. Relocation is the only option. At that time, China was labeled an exporter of environmental refugees. The world watched with skepticism. How could a country barely feeding itself challenge the iron laws of nature? But China refused to accept this death sentence. They wanted not just to survive, but to live with dignity, not only to protect their homes, but to turn wasteland into oasis. And so began an expedition the outside world saw as a suicide mission. Stabilizing loose, wind-driven sand is no easier than building a hotel on quicksand. If you visit Shapatu in Zhongwei, Ningxia, you will see a chessboard, like landscape countless dry wheat straws neatly inserted into the sand, forming perfect squares. This is the famous straw checkerboard sand barrier that stunned the world. It sounds primitive, even rustic, but this was the first Nobel-level invention Chinese engineers arrived at after countless failures. A battle of physics. Within these 1 meter by 1 meter grids lies the secret of fluid dynamics. They increase surface roughness and weaken wind force. When strong winds pass through, sand no longer dances with the wind, it stays locked inside the squares. A cradle for life inside the grids, a tiny greenhouse effect forms, trapping precious rainwater and giving plant seeds a slim chance to survive. Still, straw checkerboards alone were not enough. Over 70 years of effort, Chinese engineers created countless black technologies in the desert, just like developing dozens of patents for mega projects. First, drilling for life. Beneath the sand, minimally invasive tree planting. In arid deserts, digging pits to plant trees is a luxury. Traditional methods destroy soil structure and cause moisture to evaporate instantly. Chinese technicians invented spiral drilling and air flow planting techniques. Using high-pressure water or air, they drill deep holes in seconds and insert seedlings directly into moist soil layers. Water use drops sharply, while survival rates jump from below 30% to over 90%. Second, turning waste into treasure sludge-based sand fixation. Just as abandoned quarries were repurposed for mega projects, Chinese scientists treated urban sludge and construction waste, then spread it over sand dunes to form a nutrient-rich protective layer. This not only solved urban waste problems, but also wrapped deserts in an organic blanket. Chapter 3, From Passive Defense to Dimensional Strike, the ambition of solar-powered desert control. If early efforts relied on sheer labor, the past decade has revealed China's true creator mindset. They no longer just plant trees, they turn deserts into massive blue energy factories. This is the solar plus desert control model that stunned global energy giants. In Kubuki, Inner Mongolia, satellite views reveal endless deep blue solar panels covering yellow dunes. This is not just power generation, it is a highly precise ecological cycle. Wind blocking and shading massive solar panels shield the ground from intense sunlight, reducing surface water evaporation by 20 to 30%. Power on top, grass below, livestock in between, electricity generated above supplies industry, while drought-resistant grass or medicinal plants grow in the shade below. These plants then support support livestock farming. A positive loop: animal waste improves sandy soil, slowly turning sand into real soil. This is what makes China's desert control so fascinating. It is no longer pure charity, it is a sustainable, profitable green business. Kubuki became the world's first desert to be treated as a whole and was awarded the United Nations Environment and Development Prize. Can you imagine this? On China's map, a desert that existed for thousands of years is now close to being erased. That desert is Muo's. Covering about 2,200 square kilometers, it was once a major source of sandstorms affecting Beijing. After decades of relentless, hands-on struggle across generations, Muas has reached a vegetation coverage rate of an astonishing 80%. This means the land no longer fits the definition of a desert. It has returned to grassland and oasis. The sacrifices behind this achievement were brutal. Desert control heroes had to fight loneliness and despair. In Gansu, 3 generations worked in relay, using nothing but shovels and donkeys to build a green Great Wall against the wind. They had no advanced degrees, yet with raw perseverance, they defeated what geology said was inevitable. This spirit is the deepest driving force behind China's mega projects. When China accounted for 1/4 of the world's increase in forest coverage, over the past 20 years, the world could no longer sit still. Countries that once laughed at China are now studying China's law on the prevention and control of desertification. From Saudi Arabia in the Middle East to the Sahara in Africa, Chinese straw checkerboards and solar desert control systems are being exported as complete solutions. China has proven this poverty is not an excuse to destroy the environment, and environmental protection is not a burden on economic growth. Who says deserts must equal death? Who says humanity is destined to surrender to desertification? From a country that once struggled to feed itself to a technological powerhouse with the world's most advanced desert control systems, China has spent 70 years proving one thing: true miracles are not built by stacking money, but by repairing a wounded planet with sweat, wisdom, and unbreakable ambition. As you enjoy these peaceful green landscapes, remember that behind every leaf lies a story of struggle, science, and Chinese determination. Desert control, the greatest ecological repair project in human history, is still ongoing, and China, with its confidence to challenge the impossible, is marching toward an even greener future. Has this disappearing desert amazed you? If given the chance, would you plant a tree in the desert with your own hands? What do you think of China's restore first, profit later model? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this video gave you a new perspective on China's capabilities, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let this green miracle be seen by more people